Let's examine the conceptual significance of the coefficient of determination as well as address some engineering applications, specifically in a quasi-civil engineering setting. R squared is a statistic that essentially gives us quantifiable verification of our visual intuition or lack thereof regarding the proportionate amount or percentage of variation for a dependent variable that is explained by one or more independent variables. The dependent variable is often described as the response variable, and the independent variable is often described as the explanatory variable. R squared is used in regression modeling, whether that be linear, exponential, logarithmic functions, etc. Values of R squared range between 0 and 1 and are non-negative due to the squaring convention derived from the correlation coefficient. In figure A, the data is seemingly randomly distributed throughout, therefore the variables are seemingly independent of each other, and thus the R squared value approaches 0. In figure B, we see a diagram of the residuals related to the mean of y or y bar. This particular data's R squared seemingly approaches 1. In figure C, we see residuals plotted with respect to a linear regression line. The values estimated by the regression line are y hat. Both figures B and C relate to the lower equations. Let's look at an example. The data provided relates to initial soil moisture, the explanatory variable, versus splash erosion, which is the response variable we are aiming to further understand in a hypothetical experiment. If we generate a regression analysis of which only a portion is shown in Excel, we can see the R squared value, adjusted R squared, the coefficients of best fit regression line, along with the standard error for each dataset, as well as the predicted y values and residuals. At left is a diagram of this data's predicted y value superimposed on the actual y values, which can also be generated from the regression analysis. If we add more complexity to the data, we can generate a regression line for each set as well as auto-generate its equation and R squared value in Excel. Other R squared applications might be how the amount of water when forming affects the structural integrity of concrete jersey barriers, how weight distribution and ergonomics affect critical functions and mechanisms in robotics, how rainfall affects soil delocalization, which is similar to the previous applications, or how wind speed relates to erosion of materials such as at the Egyptian pyramids, or friction in a turbine, or even the effects of various vaccines for, say, the recent coronavirus in biological engineering. The R squared statistic applies in all civil engineering disciplines such as structural, water resources, hydraulics, etc. However, R squared is such a broad concept that it can virtually apply to any field, not just but especially in engineering. Statisticians, scientists, and engineers alike make use of many tools in order to understand relationships and make underlying predictions, assessments, and analyses, one of which is the coefficient of determination statistic.